Welcome back to yet another episode of Channel 914. I'm your host, as always, Rel Allen. And today, I'm going to talk about something that none of us can really get away from. Well, you can get away from it, but I don't know if it's the way you really want to. It's really only one way, and that's to be taken up off of here. If you haven't guessed by now, getting older, man. Growing old is something that a lot of people seem to be quite uncomfortable with, man. And it affects people in different ways. A lot of people spend a lot of money, go through a lot of things, trying to make themselves look younger, appear younger, act younger. It's a thing, man, and it's something that I have become keenly aware of as I have gotten older myself. Man, you see these grays, you know what I'm saying, coming in quite rapidly, if I might add. It seems like every time I look in the fucking mirror these days, I got a new gray hair growing in somewhere. I got gray hair growing in places that I never could have imagined. My kid pointed out the other day that I have a gray hair on my shoulder. Like, shit is wild. You know what I'm saying? Like, you just never think about these things. But now here I am at the tender age of 41 years old with fucking gray hair on my shoulders, man. It's this aging process is something else, man. I'm telling you, weird shit starts happening. That the ways used to bounce back, that bounce back just ain't the same. Drinking can almost kill you, and I'm not talking about drunk driving because that's not a laughing matter. But like, man, like, you know what I'm saying, like partying late night, drinking, and have to be productive and like actually like do shit like go to work the next day, man. You know what I'm saying, it's just can't do it like you used to, man. I know a lot of people try. Some people, it seems like they still can. I think most of those people I know are alcoholics, though. But that's a whole nother story altogether. But as for me, yeah, nah, B. If I stay up late drinking, I gotta have like nothing to do the next day because, yeah, it's a bad look for me. But the global anti-aging market, man, is actually like a pretty big fucking business. In 2022, the global market for anti-aging products was valued at $63 billion, bro. Motherfuckers are spending a lot of money to look younger. And it's projected to reach a value of $106 billion by 2030. So that's just like almost like an unfathomable. Yeah, I butchered that. You know what the fuck I'm trying to say. It's an unimaginable amount of money, man. Like, it's just, and to think that people are spending like that much money globally, even though it's also 8 billion people on Earth. But over 5 billion of that was spent in 2022 in the U.S. alone. So, you know, I mean, in the age of capitalism, in the land of capitalism, and, you know, as shallow and as obsessed with looks as we are in this country, that's not surprising at all. One of the latest advancements in this anti-aging market is synchronous ultrasound parallel beam technology. Sounds like some shit straight out of Star Trek. You know what I'm saying? But it's developed by the anti-aging company Softwave, and the technology uses ultrasound rays that have been approved by the FDA. Like, that shit won't kill you. The FDA approves all types of shit that should not be put in the human body, but that's a whole nother discussion. To firm and lift the skin on the face and neck, as well as the eyebrows and chin. Fun fact, there has been a large uptick in plastic surgery since 2020. And a lot of people, or doctors and surgeons, are attributing this rise to Zoom. Because people are looking at themselves, and not just in the mirror, you know, especially in 2020 and even still now. I spend way too much of my life on fucking Zoom calls these days. It's really ridiculous. But obviously, when you're on the Zoom, you have the self view, and most people spend that time looking at themselves. Like they don't really be looking at everybody else, like or paying attention to what's going on. Motherfuckers just be sitting there staring at themselves. And doctors are attributing this rise in plastic surgery to people looking at themselves, over obsessing, looking at all the little nuances and wrinkles and things of their face that they don't like and they think they can change. And, it's like once the world opened back up, a lot of people were desperate to get back outside and not just to go out and do things, go to concerts and socialize with people. A lot of people itching to go back so they can go to the fucking surgeon, which is wild to me. This is one of those things, like the pandemic affected a lot of things, but that was just very interesting that's also something that's happened since then. People getting more plastic surgery. Also, could have had something to do with PPP loans. People had a lot of disposable income, but I can't verify that. I don't know if there's a study been done to talk about the correlation between the rise in plastic surgery and the PPP loan phenomenon. But I'm sure there's a correlation in there somewhere. But as we know, the anti-aging market, it largely targets women. Women seem to be a little more obsessed, and I'll argue that, but I'll get to that in a minute. But women seem to be a little more obsessed with the aging process and getting older and trying to keep their youthful appearance. A lot of that is attributed to them wanting to remain attractive to men. I guess dad bods, gray hair and all that other stuff really isn't seen as bad for men in a lot of cases. But for women, it's really not viewed the same, at least by societal standards. I don't really give a fuck about any of that. But it's really is, women do spend a lot of money. It is estimated that, one survey that was done found that women will spend $225,000 on their appearance across their lifetimes. And most of that goes toward their faces. A lot of that's spent on anti-aging creams, which I just found out researching this stuff can be really fucking expensive. On average, they'll spend like $100 for skincare creams, and this is like an ongoing thing, right? And the crazy thing is that the market for anti-aging has gotten younger and younger. So we're now like the target for anti-aging products and companies is 25. 25 years old. Now, perspective is everything, right? Now, me sitting here as a 41-year-old man, I can't even imagine thinking about my age at 25, right? But a lot of people are. A lot of people are starting to wonder, and at 25, I definitely wasn't thinking about anti-aging anything. I was out here living life. I was outside heavy at 25. Ironically, that was like my last year of not being a parent. I had my kid at 26. So I definitely was not out here thinking about anti-aging. But apparently a lot of women are, and it's something that's developed over time. And dermatologists say a lot of this stuff is really just a scam anyway, and it doesn't work. A lot of companies fail to back up the claims that their products are anti-age and make you look younger and feel younger and get rid of wrinkles, and a lot of that stuff really doesn't work. Some products actually end up making things worse and will irritate your skin and then make it more vulnerable to elements, which will actually kind of speed up the aging process over time. Sometimes like sunscreen to try to slow the damage, or retinol to try to reduce wrinkles. A lot of that stuff can actually end up doing more harm than good if you continue to use them. But marketers know that consumers spend a lot of money and they'll try anything, and they'll do that shit for years. And the philosophy is they get you young and they get you to start using this stuff. And when you're young, you have your youthful appearance, right? And when you think like, okay, now this is going to keep me young, so you keep using it, so they get you young, and now they have a customer for life. Fucking capitalism, man. It's pretty fucking crazy. It's interesting though because there are things or people that are due to kind of like fight back and deter some of the rhetoric that goes around anti-aging. I know there's a term that's been called ageism that's been new to me. I don't know how long it's been around, but just kind of like, and people in magazines and especially specifically like models and like these magazines that appeal to women are trying to make more of a push to show women in the across the entire spectrum of aging, not just being young, but showing beauty, in your middle ages as you get older. There's one magazine, a Allure magazine, actually 5 years ago, decided to completely axe the term anti-aging from its pages. They will not publish those words together. The editor-in-chief, Jessica Krull, it's an interesting name, but she spoke on this decision, and she was a famous quote that said, "How are you going to be anti-living?" Which is really true because that's what happens as you live. You get older. The more you live, the older you get. It's kind of an unavoidable thing, right? You know what I'm saying? The only way to not get older is to die or become a vampire, which I know people make vampires seem kind of cool. They had that, what the fuck was that, Twilight, the vampire love stories and all that shit. And it's just like, they don't age and they live forever and they have like super strength and they all like cool and they wear sunglasses and long trench coats and shit like that. But I wouldn't want to be no vampire, man. First of all, I like the daytime. I like the sun. You know what I'm saying? I like to go to the beach and shit. I don't want to just be able to only go to the beach at night. That would suck, right? Now I got to bite people. I got to suck blood. I don't even really like the sight of blood. You know what I'm saying? And then like, do you really want to live forever? I mean, with as crazy as the world is and the way this shit going, even the way this shit's going now, it's like, man, like, do you really want to be alive for centuries and you just watch everybody around you get old and die? Anyway, I just went on a long tangent about that, but long story short, getting older is cool, man. Unless don't die, don't become a vampire. Those suck. Getting older does not. But it's not just about women, man. There are a lot more, especially now in the last decade or so, men's skincare has become more of a thing. You have more magazines. With the rise of social media and people posting more pictures, women ain't the only people out here posting selfies, man. So men are actually looking at themselves more and caring more about their appearance and, developing skincare routines and things like that. Now, the men's global skincare market is projected to reach $28 billion by the end of 2029. Now, I don't know what the global hair dye market is, but that shit has to be in the billions, man, because, I know everybody don't rock with the gray. Everybody doesn't want to look older, right? But, bro, y'all got to chill with the hair dye, man. Like, we know your shit ain't that black. Like, we know, like, and some people, like, you see people like Diddy, you know what I'm saying? Like, he obviously dyes his hair, but it's a more of a natural looking dye. But, Diddy got money. He can pay somebody, and they have, like, I'm sure they got, like, very high quality dye. But then you got the dudes out here look like they got shoe polish on their face. And it's just like, bro, come on, man. Like, stop it. You know what I'm saying? Like, the gray hair would look better than you out here looking like fucking Clyde Frazier, man. It's just, this is not what you want. The Just for Men, I don't know, man. It's just like, just stop it, bro. Just stop. Like the hair dye, that shit really bothers me. I'm sorry. Like whenever I see it, I just want to like go up to people and be like, bro, you don't have to do this. It's okay. You can have gray hair. You're getting older. It happens. I understand. You know what I'm saying? You don't really want it. It can be a little bit of a shock at first, right? But hey, it is what it is. But that hair dye, you look fucking ridiculous, man. Like just stop, all right? Please. As a PSA to all my brothers out here, man, it's okay to have gray hair. Joe, that hair dye looks fucking ridiculous. All right? Okay. Moving on. like it is something that men care about, even though it's a lot of most of the time people associate the fear of getting older with women and wanting to look younger. And I just feel like women go about it differently, man. But men care just as much. I feel like women want to look younger a lot. And I think like men, when they get older, it's more in sort of like in their behavior. Like they want to just act young, right? I mean, we all see like you know what I'm saying, the obvious older man that's out in the club with like, or do they even still call it the club? I just showed you how old I fucking am, or whatever they call that shit now. Wherever people go, right? And he outside with like his blue jeans on, creased up and shit. You know what I'm saying? Bluetooth earpiece in. You know what I mean, out here, man, trying to party out, like hair dyed up. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't be that guy, right? Just let go of your youth, brother. It's okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, and there's so many things that are associated with youth that, aren't necessarily a good thing. Like, as you get older, like, you don't want to, like, if you are in your 40s, you shouldn't be acting like you did when you were in your 20s. Like, you're supposed to have a different mindset. You're supposed to grow. You're supposed to do different things. You're supposed to enjoy different things. Like, I mean, obviously there are some activities you can hold on to, some things that you're going to be a fan of for life. But nobody should be out here at 45 acting like they did when they was 25. You know what I'm saying? Like, and if that's you, you got to change your ways, man. And I feel like I see that happen more with men than I do with women. And that's just my perspective. That's what I see. Could be wrong. If you disagree, you know what I'm saying? Let me know. We can talk about it. But that's just kind of what I see, man. And for me personally, they're getting older. I mean, there are obviously some challenges, man. Still trying to be healthy, still trying to take care of myself, still trying to exercise. And what I notice most, honestly, is if I hurt myself or if I get like some sort of injury, you know what I mean? Whereas like before a couple days, right back to new, you know what I'm saying? Like it's just like it never happened. Now it's just like, bro, I stubbed my toe and that shit hurts for 6 months. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, the body just does not heal the same, man. I need more sleep, right? Like, I just remember at times where like I would be, outside and, right, I would be getting ready to go out at like 11 o'clock. Like my night is just starting. Now, most of the time at 11 o'clock, I'm looking at my fucking eyelids, even on the weekends. Like, like Friday, Saturday night, I'll be in the bed, I'm tired. Like, I'm like, I can't, like if you invite me to something that starts at 11, there's no way. No, I'm going home. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just, but the thing about me is I'm perfectly fine with it, right? I recognize it, I see it, and hey, it is what it is. Cause I mean, I lived my life, like 90s, early 2000s, I was outside pretty heavy. I've had my share of experiences, and I don't necessarily need to relive any of that. Now it's time for me to just chill, relax, raise my kid, and get some motherfucking sleep, because that's what I need nowadays, probably more than anything. But there's so many cool things about getting older. The wisdom that comes with just lived experience, things that used to affect you, things that used to bother you, you see as trivial. Just getting a perspective on what's important, right? What really matters. And you really realize how much of a precious commodity time is. And a lot of that has to do with realizing the sense of your own mortality, right? The older you get And, the more things happen and the more you see things, and unfortunately, man, we lose people. And you really understand that, this is finite, right? Like, this doesn't go on forever. And that's just not something that you have like when you're in your teens and 20s, man. It's just like, I mean, yeah, we all of us know that, for our whole lives pretty much, we always know that we're going to die one day, right? But it's not really something you think about. It's not something you feel, because you feel such all this youthful energy, and you feel like invincible. At least I know I did. I mean, I was out here, wow, there was so many things, man. I mean, like as my mama always say, God looks out for babies and fools, and I was definitely a fool out here a lot of times, where I've done things where I definitely could have ended up on the other side. But by the grace of God, I've managed to make it to 41, but it's that like perspective, of going through those things that you allows you to see and really understand, man, that tomorrow ain't promised, right? They call it the present because it truly is a gift, man. Every moment we have here and everything that we get to experience, every day that we get to experience, man, is truly a gift. Getting old is a privilege, and it's a privilege that not everybody gets to experience. Man, like, we all have loved ones that have passed on, right? Some that we would feel like well before their time, people that have passed young. Even, and even though my daughter would like to disagree with this, because she loves to poke fun at me and call me old. But, you shouldn't be dying in your 40s, not of quote unquote natural causes, right? Health issues, things like that shouldn't be taking us out at this age, but sometimes it does. When you see things like that, and, the older you get, the more you see it and the more you experience it, the death of others around you. That is one unfortunate part about getting older, is that, you lose people. But it's just, man, you just realize that life is just so precious. And it's just something that should never be taken for granted. So I'm okay with getting older. It's just something that I see is happening, and I'm just trying to make sure I do what I can to be as spry as I can, as for as old as I can. You know what I'm saying? Like, I often, like, when I see people in the gym, or like I know people that are older than me that are like, are still like moving around and still got all their faculties about them, I'll ask them, like, hey man, what do you do? Like what are some things that you've done to kind of like keep up yourself over the years? And what a lot of people tell me a lot of times, man, is just don't stop moving. Just do something. Don't just sit down. Don't let yourself get lazy. Don't allow yourself to just be complacent with just not doing things, man. Even if it's just like just walking around. Just don't sit down, right? Just keep moving. The longer you keep moving, and you have hobbies and things that keep you engaged mentally as well as physically, then you have something to live for. You have something to enjoy. And that keeps you, what can keep you on this side, man. I mentioned my kid. I mentioned my kid a lot on here. Obviously, she's on here a lot. But that's another part that's great about getting older, is your kids grow too, right? You get to watch them grow, and you get to see, the fruits of your labor, in a sense of, like, especially now that my kid is becoming a teen, has been a teen for a while. She's about to go into high school, and you get to see, like, parenting and things that you've done, over the years. And because this is a time, like, I've talked about before, where, like, this is kind of like she's kind of going off on her own a little bit and starting making more of her own decisions, and, going to hang out with her friends by herself, and, not with her parents around. And, so you just have to trust that decision making. And, it's kind of cool when you see that you're raising a good human, right? That makes you feel really, really, at least it makes me feel fucking awesome. Just to see like how my kid is now, and just to watch her grow. That's definitely that's one thing that I always feel like I'll enjoy, and it's something that can keep me here. Like I'm excited to see what my kid becomes. I'm excited for her future. I'm excited to see what she's gonna do. So that, obviously for me to see that, gotta stick around. Which is something that's important for us as we get older, man, especially men. We don't like to go to the doctor, man. Especially a lot of black men. We don't like to go, and I don't know, and it can be hard. I'm not saying you should place all your faith in doctors and in the medical system here in this country, because we all know that it leaves a lot to be desired, right? Doctors aren't always right. There are things that, within the healthcare system, man, it's just a lot of it's fucked up. And a lot of times, man, there's more focus on keeping patients than like actually curing people. And that's been proven over time. But as we get older, man, things happen, right? And sometimes you may feel something, and the tendency could be just to try to ignore it. You know what I'm saying? Drink some ginger ale, take some Robitussin, go lay down. And you know what I'm saying? And you think things are just going to go away. But, man, sometimes that's just not the case, and there have been people around me that have passed, some recently, man, that really is just like maybe possibly don't know, or possibly could have avoided if, had maybe gone and got checked out a little bit sooner. Me, myself, around this time last year, man, I had an experience where I was feeling something, and had I not gone to the doctor, the urgent care actually, had I not gone when I went, I probably wouldn't be sitting here talking to you guys now. So there's just something that we all have to think about, and just take care of yourself, man. And obviously, eating healthy, exercising, staying in motion, things like that are things that are going to help you. But like I say, even with me doing all of that, and, things can still happen, right? So don't ignore shit. Go to the doctor, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, we got to take care of ourselves, and it's just part of regular maintenance, man. It's just like anything that we have that gets older, it requires a little more care, right? You got a car, you've had it for a while. Things are gonna, you got to put a little bit more love into it, a little more maintenance, get the oil change a little more often, right? It's the same thing with us. We got to take more vitamins. We got to eat more vegetables. We got to drink more water. All that stuff where your body was young and you could just fight through and all that, it's not the same. So we got to have a little more maintenance on our bodies, man. And I'm especially to our men, right? If you feel something, man, if it's something don't feel right, don't just sit around for days and think that shit's just going to go away. Because a lot of times it's not, and you could catch something early on, and you could be fine. Or, you could let something linger and it gets worse, and it could ultimately sometimes lead to you not being on this side with us, right? So just something to think about, and we want to be here. We want to be here to watch our children, right? Just like our parents have been here to watch us. Another part about getting older, man, and which is sometimes, it can be a little rough. I'm thankful that both of my parents are still here with me. My parents are now in their 70s. And it's crazy watching your parents age. I love my parents to death, man. Both of them still have all their faculty, can still get around, they still do all the things that they need to do. But they definitely are older, and, they be needing my help. And so it's kind of crazy, right? And, you hear about it, but it's like once you get older, you see that, like, your parents took care of you for so long. And in a lot of ways now, we gotta take care of them. We gotta look out for them. We gotta do things for them. It's cool in some ways, but it's also at the same time like it. Once again, you realizing that time is precious, and you understand that they're not gonna be here forever. A lot of my peers, man, a lot of people my age don't have their parents, or are losing their parents, and so I'm thankful for every minute, every hour, every day that I still get to spend with them, that I still get to see them, that I still get to call them and talk to them. It's definitely a blessing. But that's just a part of getting older, man. Watching our parents age and having to take care of them. And I know for some people, man, that can be very difficult, especially when dealing with parents that develop sicknesses and a lot of times like people develop Alzheimer's and things of that nature, man. And that can be tough. I have not experienced that, thankfully. But I know people that have, man, and, just seeing it, it's hard, right? And my heart goes out to people that have to experience that and have to deal with it, man, because, just hearing stories and just seeing firsthand how it can affect people, shit ain't no joke, right? So I guess everything about getting older isn't cool, but I will say that even if you do have to take care of your parents, man, that in itself is a privilege. Being able to reciprocate a little bit of what they were able to do for us and give that back to them in a different way, but it's still that same love, man. That's not something that we should take for granted either. So even if you are out there dealing with that, and and it's tough, but they did it for us, man. I mean, shit, they had to change our diapers for years. And that's also something, man, like, bro, like, I want to live for a long time. But, hey, man, I don't want nobody ever to change my diaper. You know what I'm saying? I want to be able to drive. And I don't want to be one of them people out here that, like, be behind the wheel. And goddamn well they should not be out here driving. You know what I'm saying? Out here driving 25 miles an hour, running up on curbs and shit. Damn, they're killing people. I don't want to be one of those people, man. I want to be able to drive and bathe and feed and, what I'm saying, wipe my own ass, what I'm saying, for as long as I'm here. As long as I can do that, I'm fine. But the second I can't do none of that no more, hey, man, you know what I'm saying? I'll be ready then. But God willing, that won't be for a long time. But yeah, Joe, I don't want nobody wiping my ass, man. That's very intimate. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, you had to do that for me when I was like 1, 2. But it's been a long time. I've been wiping my ass for, I guess almost 40 years now. I want to keep doing it. I want to keep doing that myself, right? And I guess that's a good place to exit, man. It's all right. We getting older, man. All my 80s babies, all my people that graduated high school in the 90s, man, shit, we pretty much all in our 40s now, right? You know what I'm saying? Shit, some of us are getting close to 50, right? But we still out here looking good, man, shit. I mean, it's crazy that, a lot of our youth, be out here looking rough, and I don't know if that got to do with all the like the fucking Molly's and Percocets and shit, man. But some of y'all be out here looking like, bro, hey, y'all need to get it together. But man, a lot of people that I see, people that I graduated high school with, people that I grew up with, people around, man, man, we look good, so we don't have to, man, it's okay. You don't have to get the Botox, the fillers, the lip injections. Some people get eyelid surgery, which sounds painful. Like, I'm sure, when it's happening, you'll be sleeping. When you wake up from it, I can't imagine. And like the rehab, what you got? Anyway, just, I mean, I understand, and no judgment here, man. Anybody that chooses to do that, I realize that, the effects of aging can have on people, when they look in the mirror and they may not like what they see. I just choose to embrace it, right? Now, I'm not going to sit here and say I ain't never plucked no gray hairs, because I definitely have. You know what I'm saying? If I get like a random one off in a weird place, I'll just say, hey, man, this shit don't look right. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I've definitely done that. I ain't never did no fucking hair dye, though. I can say that with the utmost certainty that I have never done that, and I just don't see that in my future. Embrace the age, man. You know, it's a privilege. You know, just keep drinking your water, keep exercising, you know, get some shea butter, man. You know, if you want to do a skincare routine, man, whatever, you know what I'm saying, but just don't do nothing that's going to burn your fucking skin off, man, because then you just be out here looking weird. But on that note, man, I appreciate everybody for rocking with me. We've been in this thing for a long time now. You know what I'm saying? Channel 914 gonna keep going, keep growing. That, you know, Easily Offended podcast also, man, out here doing big things, man. Man, we just gonna keep pushing. Shout out to all the other content creators out there, man, the people out there. Shout out to the Corner Convo, man. Shout out to my man of mine, Abasi Mila, man. Like, you know, I definitely watch a lot of people for inspiration. Hip Hop Unplugged, which you know what I'm saying, which I got a chance to go out and check them out recently on the live recording, man. They out here doing big things, bro. You know, it's Chicago, man, with this podcast and this new media, you know, we bubbling up. And, you know, so I'm glad to be a part of it. I'm glad to see it. Come one, come all, Herb and Two. I was able to had the privilege of being at an event with them a little while ago on Juneteenth, man, at the Woodlawn. Shout out to my homegirl Rika for putting that together and for blessing us with the invite. Yeah, man, it's a beautiful thing. And we all out here getting older too, but we look good. You know what I'm saying? And on that note, man, blessings to everybody, man, that rocks with me. There's so much content out there, so many other things that you could watch. Anytime you take the content to view me, check me out. I never want to take that for granted, and I just always want to express my gratitude. Until next time, peace.